Welcome to the number one friendship podcast in the country. I'm Aaron Karo.
I'm Matt Ritter.
Remember to go to manoftheyearpodcast.com to grab merch and watch our episodes and clips on YouTube and Instagram. Matt, there has been a debate brewing online that I have a very specific take on, which is that whether you should make online purchases from your phone or your computer.
This is a debate?
So older people, and I consider myself in that camp, never buy anything on their phone. Purchases are only made on the laptop, especially big purchases, airline tickets, clothes, where the Gen Z people are buying stuff on their phones left and right. I think that's insane. You need to make these purchases on your laptop. You can see the whole screen. You could browse different browsers, different tabs, different shops. You know exactly what's going on. There's no funny business. A little tiny phone, I can't make a purchase. It feels wrong. It feels weird, and I'll never do it.
I'm trying to think of what I do here. I definitely don't buy plane tickets on the phone. That's insane.
Oh, I thought that you would definitely do that because that you're.
But
insane.
I'm trying to let me figure out what do I do? I'm trying to I do order things on Amazon Prime on the phone all the time.
Okay, so I don't think I've ever done that.
You gotta understand. You wouldn't understand because you're not a parent. I gotta throw that in there today. Every time your kid is missing something, every day there's a new purchase for your kid.
Okay, but you can still do that on your laptop.
No, but it's you're just running, chasing after him, and you're just oh, he needs this thing for the pool thing. He needs this thing for the, he needs a new book. He's read that, just you're literally right in there, and it's it arrives that day. You're chasing him around. You're oh, he needs another block. He broke this one,
when the Amazon arrives the same day, I'm just wow.
Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? You ever just think wow, every third house has been converted to an Amazon warehouse?
Or they just have one gigantic thing in downtown LA or something, and that's getting to everybody.
Maybe. My theory is now they're oh, private equity is buying all the houses. I think Amazon has bought up a ton of houses. I think you're walking around the streets and you're why are there so many Amazon drivers? Because they live there. Because they live in that house. The Amazon driver lives on your block.
I mean, the same day. I'm how is anyone making money on this?
I honestly, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't get it. I think, okay, so I know that there's this fulfilled by Amazon thing because my cousin Mikey was doing this. So apparently, you can be a seller on Amazon.
Sure.
So there are people that are when I'm buying a baby toy, I'm saying there literally could be somebody that just has hundreds of baby toys in my neighborhood that sells them from their house.
No, but I don't think Amazon comes and picks them up from their house, do they?
I don't know. Maybe. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. So literally could be my neighbor has these, this one came within 3 hours. I bought a bubble wand. Those little wands. They just I bought one of those and it came within 3 hours.
Yeah.
And I'm just all right, maybe 2 doors down, there's a guy who's I figured out how to hack Amazon and I buy them, from China or whatever for $1. And then I get to sell them on Amazon for $2. And Amazon takes 25% and they pick them up at my house.
By the way, that's one thing that's always worth the money. Bubble toys. Love a bubble toy.
I realize all you need are bubbles and balloons for kids. That's it. There's no other toy you need ever.
I mean, I get excited when there's a bubble toy.
A good big bubble. When you blow a bubble and it doesn't pop and you're just that thing is building and building.
So what I like are the AR-15 bubble things that shoot 1,000 bubbles.
Oh, you like those? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know who else likes those? The bubble industry, because once your son presses down on it, they're oh, well, there goes that $5 canister in 4 minutes. You know what they've done? It's honestly it's unbelievable. It should be illegal. So they have Under the Sea, that song Under the Sea.
Yeah.
So he presses it and Under the Sea plays. But if he stops pressing it, Under the Sea goes off. So all he does is just press the thing and all the bubbles release for 5 minutes like an AR-15. It just pop, 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 pop. And I'm like, all right, I better just call my neighbor for another Amazon Prime delivery of bubbles.
As entertainment people and you as a former lawyer, I hope the composer of Under the Sea has bubblegum rights.
It's a very good question. I wonder if it's Disney. So Disney's all over. They're all over everybody's. Like, they'll find you, right?
Yeah.
They will find you. If you're using a bubble gun in a park, they will
Oh,
find
you think it wasn't licensed?
No, I think it was. I'm saying
Right.
that's my point is Disney's all over it. They will.
Oh, yeah.
There's no Disney IP that somebody's sneaking through on a kid's bubble gun.
Yeah. No, I'm saying whoever wrote that song, are they getting royalties on a bubble gun?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm saying, yeah. Oh, no, Disney's probably getting them because they probably bought it out, probably worked for hire. No, let's see. Let's see who wrote Under the Sea. Under the Sea song. Under the Sea songwriter.
I think it's probably someone famous.
Howard Ashman. Composed by Alan Menken. Written by Howard Ashman. It's influenced by the calypso style of the Caribbean, which originated in Trinidad and Tobago and reggae in Jamaica. Howard Ashman. Let's see who this guy is. So he, wow. So his songs, wow, pretty cool. His songs were in Little Shop of Horrors, Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin. Wow, he's got some good songs.
Nice.
Wow, he's killing it.
Well,
so he's got two Grammys, 2 Golden Globes, 2 Academy Awards. So he's got an Oscar.
I wouldn't say he's killing it since he died of AIDS 30 years ago.
Personal life. Oh, I didn't get to that part of the.
I'm sorry, that's not funny. It's not funny, but just like you.
Oh man. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Howard. Oh man. I really am. I was slow rolling the Wikipedia page. I was enjoying his early life, Karo.
By the way, what a freaking legacy, though.
I know. Wow. He died at 40. Wow. He really amazing stuff. So two Oscars and 5 Grammys, and he died at 40.
Oh, God, we haven't done absolutely jack shit.
Nothing. What are the podcast awards? The streamies? Can we get a streamy before we die?
Well, it's funny. By the way, Matt, great transition. Speaking of awards.
Ooh, great
transition. Guys, today is the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, and this is me and Matt's Super Bowl.
Woohoo!
Tonight is the 22nd annual Man of the Year dinner with us and our group of 9 childhood friends. It's the thing that launched the podcast. It's why we're called Man of the Year. And just how you feeling? Are you excited?
Can I just say we're 1 year away from this being half of our life, this ceremony.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Next year, this will have been officially half our life. This ceremony has been part of half of our life.
Wow. That's
half of our life.
So just for our new listeners, very quick, Matt and I and our group of 9 childhood friends from Long Island, every year on the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, we go to Peter Luger Steakhouse, which is like a 150-year-old steakhouse in Brooklyn. And we vote on which friend had the best year. And the winner wins our enormous Man of the Year trophy and gets their name engraved in the trophy, keeps it for the rest of the year. It's one of the reasons we've stayed friends so long. And that's one of the reasons we are friendship experts and started this pod to help other guys create rituals like that.
I'd say the best thing about this dinner now, after we have the pod, is knowing that so many other people, so many other groups have started rituals, and a lot of them have started like trophy things. I love that.
We've gotten some pictures of some absolutely crazy trophies. Our trophies kind of looks like shit compared to these people.
I know. I started thinking, like, do we have to upgrade our trophy? Because now there's all these other groups that are doing like trophies.
I think because if you remember when we first got it and we asked the trophy person, so there's basically room for 9 winners on each side, so 36 total.
36, yeah.
And we said, well, what happens after 36 years? And one was like, honey, if you're still doing this in 36 years, we'll make you a bigger trophy.
I mean, we're close enough to the time where we should probably check in and see if they're still in business, because they're going to have to make us another trophy.
I mean, I think trophy technology has gotten to the point where they can add a layer, another level.
Wait, so we're 14 years away from needing another trophy or another layer.
I think another layer. We'll do like the Stanley Cup. Yeah.
So it'll get bigger.
It'll get taller.
Yeah. It'll get taller
and
wider at the bottom.
Yes. It's going to be unwieldy.
It's right. Right now it's wieldy. It's at the maximum wieldiness. You know, because like right now you can hold it, but it's actually quite heavy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's still like you can like we bring it to meetings and stuff, and it's like I have to use two hands if I'm holding it long enough.
Right. Also, I mean, if you hold it by the handles, it breaks, which I have broken it.
Yes, which is great.
Um,
I love that it's been broken too. Like it's seen some things.
so someone asked me the other day sort of the origins about it, and I was wanted to tell that real quick because I think it might be instructive for our listeners. So basically, it was a Friendsgiving dinner, which, by the way, we were also trying to make a Friendsgiving a federal holiday. You know, every other relationship has a holiday. Why not Friendsgiving? It's already a tradition. So we had a Friendsgiving dinner. This was, I don't know, in the 2000s. And we jokingly were like, oh, who had the best year? Just as like shooting the shit. And in typical Karo fashion, because I'm like the algorithm, I kept track of it. I was just like, oh, Matt had the best year in 2004. And then 5 years later, we got the trophy and we retroactively added the names.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny to think about that now.
Because we talk about ritualizing the ritual. We had a previous episode about that. You know, part of that.
It's always random. It's always like a random, you know, like a lot of this stuff just kind of like one thing leads to another. And so, but somebody always has to take an action.
Yes. So in our case, I was keeping track. Another guy got a trophy, but you know, I don't know if you've talked about it in the pod in a while, Matt. I just thought maybe you should just share the story about Jess because you know now we live. There's 9 of us. 6 of us live near New York.
Yeah.
The 3 of us. I mean, we're freaking far away.
Yeah. The story about how we decided to do the pod, or you're talking about
No, how you weren't going to go.
Oh yeah. Well, look, COVID hit. We managed to do it during COVID. We did it remotely one year, and then Jessie was pregnant 2 years ago, and I was like, you know what? I won't go, babe. It's too much. And she was astonished that I was even considering not going. She's like, no, you're going. She's like, you're going to take a flight and you'll be back in 36 hours. I'm like, why? It's not worth it. She's like, no, this is a big part of your identity. It's a big part of your life. It means a lot to you. And just like, I was like, oh yeah, that's right. It does. You know, and I think a lot of men are of the mind that like, oh, you know, you get older, you're dad, you got responsibilities, whatever. You can just let your friendships fall by the wayside. You know, like that's just how it goes. I think a lot of people are just like, that's just how it goes. Doesn't have to go that way. You could just as easily go, I'm not going to let it go that way because life is more fun when I have a good crew. We all know that. And so I think a lot of guys out there listening, if you don't have a crew now, but you had one, it's never too late to get them back. If you've never had a crew, it's never too late to build one. You don't need 9 guys, you know, you need 1 or 2, and you can start a much more minor tradition. You know, obviously I have my weekly coffee thing. But I do think having this big, awesome ritual, we always say, the best part of that is I know where I'm going to be in 50 years. So it's locked in, or it's been anchored in the ground for our friendship.
I can't stress enough. And again, this is coming from a single guy. I always stress buy-in from the wags, from the wives and girlfriends. Like the other guys' wives and girlfriends, they know this is important. I give Jess a lot of credit. Like pretty easy for her to be like, you're gonna do what? You're gonna fly to New York the week of Thanksgiving for 24 hours? It's insane.
You know, it's funny, speaking of ritual and groups, you know, I also have a great law school crew that I don't get to see very often. And our 20-year, crazy, I can't believe that, is mid-May. Jess is due mid to late April.
Mm-hmm.
So at first I was like, it's not going to happen, guys. Like, definitely not going to happen. And then Jessie kind of saw it gnawing at me because, you know, you don't get a 20th anniversary that often.
Mm-hmm.
So she was like, I'll tell you what, if all things are going well and the baby's healthy, like just go fly out there for a night.
Can I ask you a dumb question? How did the gnawing sort of manifest? Were you saying something about it, or?
Yeah, you know, because we're on a text chain and they kept me on the chain and they're like, oh, maybe we should just take Matt off the chain. And I was like, no, just keep me on.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. When they said we should take him off the chain, I was like, ugh.
But by the way, being on a text chain when people are planning an epic event and you're not going, that's awful.
I know I should have taken myself off. But then
What are
they
you guys
started,
doing?
well, they started sharing like VRBO houses and Airbnbs and stuff, like massive ones.
But where are you guys going to go?
Philly.
Oh, so you're going back to where you went to school.
Yeah. Yeah. It's our 20th law school reunion.
Okay. I presumed it was some sort of independent of you were just hanging.
No. Yeah. So, but it's like these things matter, and you should go in with the philosophy of like, I'm going to try to really hard to do this, and I shouldn't miss it unless I can't do it.
But again, I want to give credit, and I know you are to Jess. Like,
Oh yeah.
I mean, we have a lot of female listeners who have written in about their male partner's lack of social life.
Yeah.
So I really applaud those who are encouraging their husbands or whoever you want to call it.
And they should know that it benefits them tremendously to
Oh my
have
God.
a husband
Huge.
who's not sitting around lonely and miserable and pretending they're fine.
Yes. And by the way, like, I imagine there's some guys out there who are running around every weekend doing stuff and like not being good, husbands and dads. And those are not what we're talking about. We're talking about you need your friendship blood sugar.
Yes. And by the way, good or bad dad, I'm not going to judge, but I do find it amazing the dads that do the 5-hour golf Saturday and Sunday mornings. I'm like, wow, that is amazing. Not for me, but I'm like, wow. And I've seen some resentment, actually. Not to get in anybody's biz.
Now, do you think that they then lose the commensurate time in the rest of the week? Like you did your Saturday thing, that's all you get? Or it's like
I would think that hopefully there's a balance there, I would imagine. I don't know. I don't know what goes on behind everybody's closed doors.
And you think it's an early tea time?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think it has to be. It has to be the 7 a.m.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I want to hear I would love to hear from some of our golf listeners of like how that balance works.
Basically, how do you get permission to do that?
Yeah.
Because imagine you said to Jess, me and Karo every Saturday morning are going to do our bar crawl. She'd be like, fuck you.
That's absolutely right.
Yeah. Yeah. Should we take a listener question?
Let's do it.
All right, guys, we'll be right back. Okay, this is asking for a friend. If you have a friendship question or ethical dilemma, send it to us on Instagram at Man of the Year Podcast, and we will answer it on the show. Okay, this one came in and it says, Dear Matt and Karo, I love the pod and never thought I would say this, but I've got a question for asking for a friend. Every year, me and my buddies have a big Friendsgiving dinner the night before Thanksgiving.
That's not Friendsgiving, just for the record. That's
Thanksgiving Eve.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Well,
I'm just crapping on our listener.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. And every year, one of my buddies makes us go around the table and says what we're most grateful for. I've had a really tough year, and for some reason, I just really, really, all capitals, really dreading this. I don't want to participate. I don't want to have to explain why I don't want to participate, and I don't want to miss the dinner. What do I do? Please help.
We did talk about this once. Not this.
We did? No.
But we did talk about how to deal with when somebody has a taboo topic and they're out and they're socializing. Should they go out? I forget exactly what the context was. We covered this like a little.
No, I remember it was the guy was having a rough time, and they were all taking a boys' trip, and we knew he was going to get drunk and just have
right,
be
right, right. And so I think it was. I think I would apply some of that advice here, which is there's got to be somebody in that group that you can confide in. I hope. So I think that would be helpful.
I
feel those fears with one of the people in your inner circle about why you feel uncomfortable in this situation. Like, oh man, I'm not sure I want to go because I know it's going to like set me off to, think about the year that I've had. It's been horrible. And maybe that friend can then kind of circulate the idea of like, hey, let's not have him ask. Let's not ask him. Let's skip him. Or maybe let's tweak it this year. Because like, is it really worth it? Because we want him to come and it's going to be like a whole to-do. I mean, look, Luger's when my dad died. We all go around the room with an update and I started crying. And like, Wasn't a good year, you know. There are ups and downs. I might cry tonight, like my dog just died, you know.
Did you not want to speak at that Luger's dinner?
I'm sure I didn't want to speak. It's been a while, you know. I'm sure I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure I didn't because it was too raw, you know.
In this case with this guy, I mean, I wonder if a simpler solution is just to say that you're grateful to be there with all your friends.
Right. Again, yeah, I agree with you. Like, is it that hard to just be like, look, I'm grateful for you guys? Pass.
I'm curious, and I can't discern from the question. Do you think that his friends know that he had a tough year, or is he going through something that they don't know about?
I think they probably do.
Yeah.
I think they probably do. But I also think, you know, I've had a lot of these dinners where we do sort of gratitude, or this year we had a good one. I think I told you about it. We went around saying, what's something that you are afraid to do, but maybe if you said it out loud, it would help you overcome your fears, which I really liked.
Oh,
It
did you
really,
tell me that?
I don't know if I told you that. People loved it.
What did you say?
Um, what did I say? Oh, I said I'm gonna put myself in one of my movies this year. It's been something I've been afraid to talk
Oh,
about.
okay. Yeah. I mean, you're very consistent about that.
Yeah, but now I'm gonna make it happen because I
Yeah.
said it out loud. I put it into the universe. But I think it really freed people to be like, oh, okay, we're in a safe space here. So maybe there's something to figuring out a way to make this space. I hate saying safe space, but
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
true, you know. Sometimes we all need them a little bit. I really hate that I just said that, but
It's interesting because my family does the go around and say what you're grateful for on Thanksgiving,
yeah,
and my dad starts crying. Uh, but you know, you have a lot of grateful for the family and a lot of repeated stuff, and I wonder if maybe there's a better and more evocative question.
that's why we did this one about what are you afraid of that would, you're excited to, do if we told people about. But I think also for our Luger's thing, I wanted to get back to our dinner too. Ours is good and bad stuff. It's just a honest breakdown. But in various years for us, some people share more or less. And so I think this person's putting a little too much pressure on themselves to share more this year. Sounds like you just need to not share as much this year if you're not feeling it. Because at dinner, sometimes I like my gratitude thing, like, or whatever. Sometimes we just have people go past at the dinner. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with going, yeah, just skip me.
I think I've probably, by the way, in our dinner, just to clarify for our listeners, at the man of the year dinner, we do an update round where you're just like, here's how the kids are doing, here's what's latest at work, because we're not everybody knows what all 9 other people
Yeah.
are up to. So it's a little, and I think I've been like, not much, pass,
Right. Right. And
but
there's nothing wrong with that. And nobody was like, oh, Karo, come on, come on.
I also would like to encourage our listener. It's always tough to encourage someone to feel grateful, but just another way of thinking, you are getting together with your buddies every year to do a Friendsgiving, or as Matt would call a Thanksgiving Eve dinner. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. And how about the fact that the dinner isn't about that 5 minutes where you're talking about that? So look at the totality of what you're going to do. Sometimes guys just need to get rowdy. That's what that is. No, I'm being honest. Like, that's what you're doing, dude. You're going there to get rowdy with your buddies, and you need that. You obviously need that.
Yeah.
You're talking about how you had a bad year? Go out with your boys who make you feel good and have fun, who love you. And forget about the 5 minutes where everybody's talking about how great their year was and your year wasn't that great. Just go, it's been it's been okay, ups and downs, next, and just move on. And then that part of it is done for you. Is it going to bother you that other people had good years? It really shouldn't. And if it does, like, that's other stuff that we've talked about on the pod.
I mean, Matt, that actually, like, you injecting some humor into it.
Always good.
Actually, Matt, I don't even know if I told you this. So you know how I have kind of a subgroup, and it's my friends Dan, Key, Shane, and Katrina.
Yeah.
We have a little, like, so we do a Friendsgiving. I actually have it at my place, and Katrina at some point at a flea market or a garage sale, I don't think I have it here, like, found this figurine that's just the ugliest thing ever. It's like She probably bought it for $1. Like, it's disgusting.
Yep.
So we do a who had the worst year contest.
Oh,
And you win the little thing.
how you feeling?
And you know what's insane is that I don't remember the circumstance, but of course I'm the one recording it. 2 years ago, unfortunately, our friend Dan's mom passed away, and me and him tied for the worst year. I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh my God, that's hilarious. Holy shit.
And I don't even remember why they, I mean, I guess it's half joking, I guess, but
oh my God. That
so
is, man, you must have had a shit year.
yeah, I don't remember it being
in their mind.
But I do think, just like to your point, Matt, of just being like, hey guys, well, not a lot to be grateful this year. It was a complete shitstorm next.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, laugh it off. I mean, come on, man. Laugh it off. Come on. I don't want to be too hard on you, but come on. You can get through a 30-second, my year sucked. You guys know that. Come on. Like,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, you guys want to see my bank statements, assholes?
Oh man. All right. I think we answered that. Thank you for that question, guys. This was asking for a friend. If you have a friendship question or ethical dilemma, send it to us on Instagram, Man of Your Podcast, and let us know your Friendsgiving traditions or anything else going on this time of year. Matt, any other final thoughts? Are you feeling like you could compete this year for the trophy? How are you doing?
I don't know, man. Well, first of all, like Hollywood, what a town. I mean, you and I are doing a lot of great stuff with the pod that I think most of our listeners have no idea about yet, because we haven't revealed.
We haven't announced any of it yet.
Right. We haven't announced any of them. So like, we are crushing it on the pod front, but that's kind of split with you. So I don't even consider that
right. Fuck
my accomplishments. So outside of you, I hate to say this, all the other awesome stuff that I'm doing on the screenwriting, it's all like, this town is just, this town is just falling apart. So, all those things that are supposed to be happening have all been stalled out. But Jesse's pregnant. I don't know. We already know that doesn't count for that much because, anybody can have a kid. Is my famous last words.
Right.
My famous last words, which cost me the trophy. No, I'm not really sure that I'm having a fine year,
Yeah.
By my standards, I'm having a fine year. I'm happy, healthy, great family, great friends. But accomplishment wise, had better years. But you?
Yeah, I'm hoping to compete in 2025.
You got a lot of things on the burner. You got some things popping off.
Right, which, as we know, sometimes nothing happens, and especially in our town.
If they try to vote for Karo, I'm just going to kibosh. I'm just be like, get a girlfriend first and then talk to me.
Wow, what an asshole. But by the way, so and be careful.
I'm sorry, I love you. I love you.
Yeah, no apology accepted. But just remember the vagaries. So we have these arcane rules that we've had for 20 years. The voting happens in reverse order of the last time you won. So the reigning person votes first. I'm actually the last the farthest person to win. So I'm the last vote. So I'm basically I'm the high.
Whoa. You wield that power like the sword of Damocles.
I don't think the sword of Damocles was wielded though, famously.
It just hung over. It never came down. It never came down. So what are we worried about? Wait, hold on. So why are we even worried?
Because it's the threat.
But we know it never came down.
Well,
is that true? The sword of Damocles never came down?
Well, I think it's a.
Oh my God, I gotta look that up.
Whatever you want to call it. Now,
did it ever come down?
Sword of Damocles is very. Well, it wasn't a real sword, I don't think.
Right, it was ever-present peril. Right. It was an apocryphal anecdote. Right, Damocles was flattering his king. Right. Okay.
By the way, ever-present peril and apocryphal anecdote feels like our nicknames.
The apocryphal anecdote. Wow, it never came down.
Yes, that's famously that's
it just hangs. It just hangs.
Yeah. All right. Any last?
I'm pumped. This is great. I love that we do this. I love this friend group. We are blessed. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for our listeners. I hope that you guys have built some traditions since you started listening. As always, always, always share your traditions, your rituals. We love seeing it. Yeah. Happy
Yeah, I
thanks.
love
Happy
it. To our Luger's
Friendsgiving.
crew. Oh, sorry, I cut you off.
Happy Friendsgiving.
Yeah, happy Friendsgiving to our Luger's crew. We'll see you in a few hours. Man of the year, baby.
Woo!
All right, guys, thank you so much for listening. Always remember, be good to yourself, be good to your friends. Love you, buddy.
Love you, buddy.